Welcome to Wellness by Degrees. Today's class we're going to focus on exercises that can help relieve pain in the lower back and spine. So these exercises aren't necessarily for injury. If you have an injury, talk with your doctor before doing any of these exercises. But just for general lower back pain throughout the day, these are some things that might help. Also, if you're interested in doing some exercises on the floor on a mat instead of on a chair, I have a video for that as well that you can check out. So to begin, come into mountain pose, having the feet slightly apart. You can use fists to get some distance. What we want is evenly pressing down, having the knees stacked over the ankles. We want the shoulders stacked over the hips. We want to roll the shoulders back, broaden through the chest, lift through the pelvis and spine so that we have a great foundation to begin with. Our foundation and our posture are some really important things for spine health and pain prevention as well. So in this position, we'll begin by just breathing, starting to get a more rhythmic breath, inhaling and exhaling evenly. You might close your eyes here or leave them open if you're more comfortable. Find your breath rhythm. Find the pattern for yourself. Have three-dimensional breathing that goes in, expands the lungs, expands the ribs, the back ribs, the front ribs, pressing into the diaphragm. And full exhales as if all the air is pulled out by a vacuum. Breathing at your own pace. Deeply and fully. And when you're ready, we'll begin by doing a cat-cow in the chair. So on the inhale, we'll draw the hands forward, tilt at the pelvis, draw the chest up, draw the gaze up to the point where the wall meets the ceiling, and exhale. Start to look towards the ground, pressing the hands in, rolling back through the spine, drawing the shoulders forward. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, arch. And exhale, round. Take a couple of more of these at your own pace. If you find a spot that feels particularly good or you feel like you'd like to stretch out more, you might pause in that spot. Having the hands make a fluid motion with the torso, having the breath connect to the forward and backward motion. Pausing where you need to, having awareness of your own body, of your spine, of other areas that might need a stretch. And come back to center. Breathe in and breathe out. On the next inhale, we'll start to draw first the right leg in towards the chest. So for this one, we want to stay nice and long through the pelvis, so we're going to tilt forward. We're going to put our hands on either side of the right leg and start by just drawing the leg closer to us with the foot still on the ground. Each of us will have a different level of flexibility. So find your level as you move up and stay there. You might start to lift the foot off the ground, the knee might just be here. We'll have the elbows coming out and we'll be pulling, so the biceps are going to be working here to help with your leg. Hopefully the muscles in your leg are helping to support that leg as well, but not all of us are there yet, which is fine. So what we'll do is we'll have the arms assist, and you might even wrap the hands around the front of the knee and draw the knee in towards the chest. This helps with releasing the spine. We still want to be sitting up nice and tall, So if we're not able to achieve that long spine while drawing the leg in, we might back off a little bit. So wherever you are, take a couple deep inhales and full exhales, focusing on the breath, focusing on how we're feeling, being aware of any pain that we might feel, realizing that pain is not our friend. Discomfort helps us grow, but pain is a signal from our body to back off a little. When you're ready, you can release the leg, coming back into a mountain, and move over to the left side. And one side might be more flexible than the other, and that's fine. So hinging forward, we're lifting the leg, so we might be here, we might be up a little higher, or we might be pulling the knee into the chest. So wherever we are, we want that tall, long spine. We want to be able to breathe fully. We want to maybe not feel comfortable, but feel confident in where we're at. Feel that we're doing our body no harm and that we're becoming stronger. Take a couple more deep breaths here. And when you're ready, you can release the leg, coming back into mountain. From here, inhale and come up onto the balls of the feet. And exhale, come back down. Inhale, lift the toes. Exhale, down. Inhale, we're coming up onto the balls of the feet. And from here, we're going to start to rock the legs over to the left side and over to the right. Connecting breath with movement. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, we're going to draw the legs over to the right and leave them there. And from here, we're going to start to go into a twist. So you might just have your right hand forward, left hand back. You might start to turn your torso, or you might hook your left hand and arm over the back of the chair. Bring the right hand onto the chair. So a little bit deeper stretch and twist here in the lower spine. And release. Draw the legs over to the other side. Level 1, drawing the right hand back, left hand forward. Level 2, we might come to the side of the chair. Level 3, we hook the right elbow around. We might draw the left hand to the side of the chair. Deepest version of the twist. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Bringing the arms back to center, bringing the legs back to center, and dropping the heels back down. Now from here, we did cat-cow, and now we're going to do something a little bit similar to cat-cow, but our motion's going to be lower. So this is a pelvic tilt. So for here, put your hands on your hips. So if you need to find out where the hip bone is, just draw the hands up the legs, and where the leg meets the torso is where you want your fingers to rest. And so we're going to start to tilt forward at the pelvis and hold here for 1, remembering to breathe, 2, inhale, 3, and 1 more, 4. And coming back up, we're going to tilt back. So with cat, we were tilting back from the rib cage. Here, we're tilting back at the hips. So the rib cage stays forward, just the hips and pelvis tilt back. And we'll hold here for 1, inhaling and exhaling. 2, remembering to breathe. 3, 4, and 5. to a neutral spine. I'm going to have you do that at your own pace. So the tilt forward and back. So we're not holding this time, but we're bringing awareness to our pelvis, and we're tilting from the lower spine and pelvis, trying to keep the shoulders up, trying to keep tall through the rib cage and the upper spine. So most of our movement just should be through the lower spine. Remembering to breathe here, keeping the feet planted solidly. This is just a lower body, lower hip exercise. Now you can try side to side. So we're just kind of tilting the hips. We're trying to keep everything else still. The legs might move a little. And then we might round through the hips. So kind of get a circular motion through the hips. Activating the pelvis. Moving those muscles that for many of us just stay in the same position all day long. A lot of us have jobs where we're sitting for many hours a day. And this can help to relax those muscles and strengthen them. Let's tilt forward, a little bit further, over to the right, back, and left. We'll do a couple more of those at your own pace, remembering to breathe. And then when you're ready, you can begin to move in the opposite direction. So we'll do 3 or 4 in the opposite direction. Breathing in and out. Being aware of how you feel, places that you might be tight, or where your muscles might feel weak. Be aware if you feel anything different, if you feel stronger or weaker as you move forward. Not judging, just bringing awareness. And when you're ready, come back into a neutral seated pose. Bring the hands down onto the legs. And for this next exercise, you can either keep the hands here. This is another arch through the spine, but we're also drawing the shoulders back more than we have in the past. So we're trying to lift the chest towards the ceiling, lengthen and broaden the shoulders, and arch through. This time it's going to be the upper spine. So we're using both lower and upper spine, but a large arch through the upper spine, and we're going to hold and breathe. So one option is staying here. Option 2, you might draw the legs out a little bit and bring the hands to the side of the chair. Option 3, you might point the toes towards the ceiling, straighten the legs, and draw the hands behind you. So let me show you what this looks like from the side, and then you can find your version of the pose. So version 1, we're right here. Version 2, the legs come out a little further. We're holding the chair, still getting that arch through the upper spine. Version 3, toes point up towards the ceiling. You might slide forward on the chair a little bit more. Hands come behind us, pressing into the chair, and gaze lifts. So find your pose and breathe for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Release the pose. And allow yourself to relax forward. So that might just be pressing into the legs like this. It might be coming down a little bit further, reaching towards the ground, or you might bring the fingers to the ground. You don't want to be dropping the head below the torso, so if you're able to get that length, then that's okay. If you can't get the length and you're kind of rounding in on yourself, just come to here. Take a few deep breaths here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. On the next inhale, come back up. Exhale all the air out and allow yourself to rest back into the chair. Letting the back rest against the back of the chair, you might drop the arms down, you might let them rest in your lap. You can relax through the legs. Our version of Shavasana in one chair. You might close the eyes, you might let the chin drop down. Allowing the breathing to calm. Bringing awareness to any part of the body that might still be holding tension. Consciously relaxing and releasing that area. Allowing the mind to still. Allowing the breathing to return to normal. Thanking your body for the practice it has given you today, without judgment. When you're ready, you can open the eyes, come back into a tall mountain pose, bring the hands to heart center. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today for this practice. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, and I look forward to our next class.